Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your buddy Uncle Bruce here, Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome to the show today, live from Hamburg, Germany, downtown Hamburg. We're just a block away from the miniature museum we saw last year. Can't wait, gonna catch it tomorrow. Hope you're doing all right. Beautiful area here as usual. Hamburg, great place, and we're having a good time. Jen and I just finished a 4-day get together with my cousin in Dortmund, and prior to that, we were in the UK. So the trip is going well, and we're further down the road than we were the last time I saw you, and we're doing okay. We're heading from here to Copenhagen and then Stockholm, and so we're looking forward to the next few days and weeks as we continue our summer getaway. Jen, you want to say hello?
Hello.
She's right here. We're stuck in this hotel room together. She's doing great. All is well. We had a nice train ride yesterday from Dortmund to here, and enjoyed it. We're enjoying our hotel room. It's very nice, roomy, and bright and modern and clean. Just great. So we're very pleased with how it's going. I hope you're doing okay. The market's not much going on. We're down 23 on the Dow. Not much happening. We're down 7 points on the S&P 500, down 45 on NASDAQ. Very quiet start. Oil is sitting at 85.22, up down about 33 cents, but it's up about $3 since last week, and that's where it's at right now. Lots of talk here in the markets anyway on a number of areas. For the world economy as a whole, it's interest rates. What are they doing? And inflation. What is the story here? What should and what must central bankers do in Europe and elsewhere to combat inflation? Here in Germany, it's a problem. Inflation is running at about 6.5%, and it is stubbornly not going down. Unemployment is not an issue here, which is good. The economy is slower than in past years, but we're not in a really bad economic funk in this region of Europe. It's making do. It's been better. Talking to a few relatives and friends and that type of thing, getting their impression of the area. They admit that things are slower than they were in the past years. The war in Ukraine has a lot to do with that. Natural gas prices were very high last year, but they've come down quite a bit. Electricity had gone up for a shot, but it's come back again. But inflation is still sticking around a little too high. It did reach 10-12% here. It's back to 6%. And there's pressure to try to keep things calm. So there may be higher interest rates coming here, maybe another half a point over the next year or so to sort of try to tamp down the inflation number. There are not a lot of good news economic stories going on around here. It's not like new factories are opening everywhere you go. Not happening. But in most, at least downtown Dortmund and here, there are cranes building. Whether they are office towers or they're condos, construction continues, and so that's a sign. It's a sign that at least 50-year-old infrastructure, 80-year-old infrastructure is being renewed and being rebuilt, and so on. The other story in Germany that is really getting under the skin of a lot of people is the railroad, the National Passenger Railway Company called Deutsche Bahn, or DB for the initials. Deutsche Bahn is, they're having a problem. The German railroad network is one of the most extensive on the planet. And it is just expected in Germany that Deutsche Bahn operates efficiently and on time. It's just the way it has to be because of the amount of money that has been put into the German rail network through tax breaks and incentives by the national government. it is just expected that as a taxpayer, you should get service where service is due. It's kind of like in the United States and Canada, freeways should be open all the time. There should be plowing in the winter, repairs in the summer. There should be a national network always functioning properly. And here in Germany, rail is a big deal because obviously you move goods and people around this country. Well, Deutschbahn is having problems. Their infrastructure is aging out. Now, we're not talking about 50 trains in this country. We're talking like 5,000 trains. We're talking about locomotives that you can't fathom in Canada, the numbers, and in the United States. You cannot fathom how many let's call it sets sets of trains that are moving at the same time in this country. It is unimaginable. Maybe the northeast of the U.S. has a little taste of how many trains are in existence, but in Canada and in most of the United States, passenger trains are almost non-existent in many parts of our two countries. But here, it's everywhere. And there are regional trains, international high-speed trains, like national high-speed and then international high-speed. And it's a big deal. Schedules are delayed. Trains are sometimes late by 20, 30 minutes, which is an absolute sin. Trains being utilized are aging and they show it. Germans are not impressed with the amount of capital that this company generates to be having to use a train that's 20 years old when they really should only be 2 or 3. But COVID got in the middle of everything for everybody everywhere. Germany was shut down for a year and a half. Everyone had to wear masks no matter what, and train travel was somewhat affected. Travel was affected, and so here we are. There's a lot of infrastructure being put into the rails, bridges, electric lines. All the trains are electric here. And Deutschbahn is trying to catch up with the issue. The problem is you are talking about a corporation that is so mega huge. Every city in this country has a Deutschbahn office and employees everywhere. It's hundreds of thousands in the country. And to turn this ship around and improve it is billions and billions and billions of dollars on top of the existing billions being used. Anyway, interesting to see. Bottom line, go to the Hamburg main train station. They call it the Hauptbahnhof. And you can walk through that station and breathe in clean air. There are no diesel trains anywhere here. It's all electric. They're quiet, they're quick, they're efficient, but they need improving. It's really interesting to watch. Now, in America, the latest news I've been reading, some of the news I've been reading, some of the stories coming out of the USA, I find fascinating. We've talked about this before on this channel. I have talked to you folks about the union movement in the USA. I have talked to you about airline pilots associations getting big raises. I've talked to you about the UPS employees, 300,000 of them getting brand new employment contracts with significant pay raises. Now I have talked to you lately about the UAW, the United Auto Workers Union, going for a big pay raise. And there will be more. There will be more of this talk all this year and all of next year. This is not an election issue thing. This is not a Democratic thing. It's not a Republican thing. This is business, nothing personal. It's just business. And when it comes to the auto workers, their argument is pretty simple and straightforward. They're basically saying, look, you guys, you auto executives came to us 4 years ago and 4 years before that and 4 years before that. You were crying the blues about the tough economic times that we were having and how after the financial crisis, the car companies were in real trouble. And we noticed how you went to Washington to get bailouts and all kinds of cheap loans and what have you. We as a union, UAW, we gave you concessions. We gave you labor concessions. We allowed our employees to be cut into slices where entry level employees get a lower wage than a medium level versus a higher experienced level employee. The benefits are different at each level. Retirement benefits have to be earned up. We gave you all that over the last 12 years, 8 years, 4 years, to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. Take the three companies together, Ford, the Chrysler Company, and GM. You're talking a ton of money. You're approaching $1 trillion of concessions. Those days are over, is what the union is saying to the car companies. And the car companies know this. Don't think, any of you out there, do not believe that these car companies are so naive that they're thinking, oh well, we can make these unions take 3% pay raises forever. They know the concession game is over. They know they cannot push the unions around with threats of layoffs anymore. They have already done as many layoffs as they're going to do. They've already offloaded a bunch of union workers and non-union workers, white collar workers, in the last 5 years. But the car companies have been making money the last number of years, more or less, and they have done very well with massive United States government funding, whether it's massive spending, big tax write-offs for equipment, what have you. They've really enjoyed some wonderful benefits. In Canada, the automotive sector would have to be one of the biggest, what I would call suckhole organizations in the world. I'm sure they're exactly the same in Washington. They have perfected how to suck taxpayer money out of politicians to create a new car plant in maybe Akron, or a new car plant in Mississauga, Ontario, or a new assembly line operation in Illinois or Ontario or Quebec. These guys are experts at sucking tax money out of taxpayers to put into their business, give themselves the top 5% of these organizations. These guys get paid phenomenal money. The corporations have private jets all over the place to ferry their guys around. Don't worry, they're not hurting. They have generous stock options, and these top 5%ers make a bloody fortune. And it's off the backs of common middle class Americans and Canadians. And they've got this thing pegged perfectly. And they are also very good at putting on the PR machine to make the unions look like they're radicals and that they're trying to break America in half and they're trying to destroy the country and all this crap. Union organizers, the union leaders, are going, talk all you want, but we're going on strike. You can put up all the billboards you want and try to paint us as radical people. The bottom line is we have members who have been giving back to you guys now for over a decade, and now it's our turn to get paid for all the sacrifice we've given you guys. And it's going to happen. I can guarantee you it is going to happen. The car companies will pay. They will pay dearly. They may announce layoffs because of it, but they will pay up. And the union members will be catching up with ravaging inflation in the United States and Canada the last 2 years, and years of concessions. Many of you out there who watch me all the time have been in your own little world, whether you've been involved in a mother and pop organization, a factory near your hometown, or corporate America, anything in Canada, anything. Many of you who watch me full time in the last 10 years know yourselves personally, or a spouse, or family members, children, and other relatives and associates, people who've received 2 to 3% pay raises for almost a decade. You are absolutely familiar with this. And you all know that a 2%, 3% raise is not enough to fight even 2% inflation. Because if you get a 3% pay raise, you got to pay tax on that extra cash that's coming in. That comes off the top. All the deductions come off the top. You don't get a 3% net increase in salary if you get a 3% raise. you're going to get 1.5, 1.6%. Inflation at 2.5, 3%, you're losing every year 1 to 2% against inflation. And many of you have been losing, or know of someone, or know of more than one person that across the board have been losing to inflation left, right, and center. And it doesn't mean that it's an instantaneous drop in standard of living. It's a slow motion drop in the standard of living. And it starts with not getting a new car every 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's repairing an existing car to last another couple of years longer, or it's refinancing of your mortgage, where you had a house you bought 10 years ago, you had a 20, 25-year mortgage on it, and 10 years in, you refinance the house. Yeah, you want to do some renovations. Sure, you want to improve the place. Absolutely. But you also use that as an opportunity to pay off your credit cards. You use that as an opportunity to pay down a car loan and get another loan instead, get another car. This is a lowering of the standard of living. Not eliminating debt and reorganizing debt is not an improvement in your standard of living. It's actually a downgrade, trying to use assets you have to improve your lifestyle and maintain it. The salary is not allowing you to knock off the debt faster in future years when you should be able to knock off your debt faster. Those of you in your 30s versus your 50s, when you're in your 50s, you should be bringing in far more money every month than you did in your 30s because of the experience you have. And you should be knocking off credit card debts, not even having credit card debt anymore. And you should be knocking down mortgages to zero by now. Not happening. That hasn't been happening in America lately. Not a chance. All right. The other thing I want to talk about today was reading in Financial Post, other issues and other publications online and elsewhere. There's a really big thing happening in the United States that most Americans don't talk about. And I'll tell you, a certain percentage of Americans will not talk about this topic at all because it doesn't help their personal political position. It just doesn't make them look good or smart. So they won't talk about this topic at all. What am I talking about? What am I getting at? I'm talking about the infrastructure spending bills that were passed by the Congress in the first 2 years of the Biden presidency. After Trump got his ass kicked out of Washington, Biden comes in. He has control of the Congress with Nancy Pelosi. He has the Senate. He has the White House. And immediately they got to work passing bills, knowing that in the midterms, it's increasingly likely that the Republicans will get the House back, which they have, which will mean nothing will pass the Congress for the next 2 years other than Hunter Biden investigations. It's the only thing that Congress is going to do. So the Biden administration passed bills in the first 2 years of the Congress. One of the bills that they passed was an infrastructure bill that is earmarking the potential of hundreds of billions of federal dollars towards turning the United States into a modern electric creating company, a country creating electricity in the modern era. In other words, saying goodbye to the 1800s goodbye coal, and saying hello to solar, wind, that type of energy. How many times have we heard it said in the United States that the grid, the U.S. electrical grid, is on life support? We are well aware of that. Back in, I believe it was about 2010, the New York State, Pennsylvania, Ohio, the whole Northeast got shut down because there was an overload on a system on the grid that just caused a complete brownout of the Northeast. Took days to recover. Texas is constantly under unbearable overload pressure because of its needs, and sometimes in the wintertime, you'll get a rainstorm that turns into an ice storm that turns into a snowstorm, and these power lines come crashing down because they can't handle the weight. And next thing you know, Texas has got problems. We've heard this all over the place. The Biden administration decided we've got to modernize the grid, but we can't do it like that. This U.S. power grid is a mess. It is a hodgepodge of private, corporate operated electrical companies that in certain states can do whatever the hell they want when they want. In other states are highly regulated to do whatever they have to do. And there's no rhyme or reason between it. And there are certain power companies that make more money for themselves selling power to other power companies because they know that those guys have surges of power needs. They go up. The Enron debacle was a power grid debacle from top to bottom and ended up costing billions in losses. So to fix this, you have got to offer tax incentives to get private corporations to want to invest in infrastructure, electrical generation of infrastructure. And one way to get those companies to invest in electrical infrastructure without polluting the hell out of the planet by burning oil, burning natural gas, or firing up coal plants is you offer tax incentives if you incorporate solar and wind power generation. And wouldn't you know it, our friends, Mr. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, through Berkshire Hathaway, approached, of all places, West Virginia, coal country. They sent emissaries into the coal country, and they realized there are all kinds of plants that have been abandoned, steel plants, aluminum plants, and others in West Virginia over decades and decades, the old Rust Belt story. And this is a state that is wide open for business. The problem is West Virginia thinks that the thinking had been for generations that the only way forward for West Virginia was to produce more coal and burn it. That was their number one generator of jobs, taxes. We just dig this crap out of the ground and burn it off and produce electricity. Well, it sounds great in the 1800s, sounded great during the First and Second World War when anything went. You can produce electricity. We don't care how you produce it. Just produce it. Make aluminum, make steel, make fighter bombers, make destroyers, make tanks. We're in a war. After the war was won, however, things changed. And now in the last 40, 50 years, most of mankind, except for some of the Neanderthals out there, actually kind of get it that there's a kind of a climate problem here. And if we could produce electricity not burning so much crap into the air, that might be better for mankind as a whole. Not everyone believes this. This is a radical thing, this so-called, environmental thinking. In any event, the Berkshire Hathaway people went to West Virginia and said, you know what? The federal government is offering hundreds of billions of dollars of incentives, just handing it out like you can't believe, except that we have to work together to find a way to create the right kind of businesses to enjoy these tax benefits. And one way to do it is to create a factory that will create material in the national interest of the United States of America and produce power for that factory using, for example, solar energy. And so a former aluminum plant operated by Kaiser Aluminum, long been abandoned, now owned by the state of West Virginia, environmental hellhole. They cleaned it up, and there's this gigantic site that is right by rail lines, right near highways. They've got water, they got everything they need, transportation. What they need now is a business to come in there, set up a factory, and get to work, hire West Virginians. Berkshire Hathaway says, we can build a titanium plant here. We can produce titanium, which is highly needed in computer systems, military applications, avionics, you name it. Titanium is huge. And we can build the factory from the ground up, from scratch, incorporating solar power panels at the same time. We can literally produce enough electricity, if not more than enough electricity, from solar panels as the factory is developed at the same time, so it's a self-reliant entity. That means the cost of the electricity for the factory will be so low that it'll improve the factory's ability to make money. The Berkshire Hathaway people are not stupid. They may be more Republican leaning than Democratic leaning, but they're not idiots. They know where the dollars come from and how they work out. They also know that if they were to invest billions of dollars into a plant like this, that billions of dollars of tax credits will come back to them from the federal government, because the federal government's going to say, you're creating solar power for this factory? We've got credits for you. That's what the bill was all about. The bill was designed to create one of the largest infrastructure reinvestment projects in American history since the Second World War. This is why President Biden's the greatest president you guys have ever had. This country is being completely turned over. And kicking and screaming Republicans are being dragged into this thing because the red states are going, hey, why shouldn't we also get these massive structures, these massive job creation projects, titanium plants and all kinds of other plants? Why don't we have this in our states funded by the people of America so that we have ongoing jobs for generations in the newest, latest area of factories and employment? We're not trying to create, 1800 technology or 1900 products. We're creating products for the next 50 to 100 years in our state, cleanly, efficiently, from the sun that's just shining on us every day. We can produce battery plants to absorb the solar power all day long. And in the evening, when the sun goes down, the battery plants kick up and keep the factory going. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, self-reliant system. And the United States government, smart enough, is saying, this is in our national interest. We should have 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week factories producing Defense Department needed goods and services, along with our space program, our infrastructure program for computers, for our data processing centers, you name it, electric cars, electric vehicles, electric everything. This is the future that we could go with. And we can be world leaders in this area rather than importers of this stuff from other countries. This is a big deal that's going on right now. I can tell you right now, there is not one single senator in the United States Senate that has an R beside their name, Republican, that is touting this stuff. Okay, they're not going to brag about it. There isn't a single congressperson in Washington with an R beside their name. They're not bragging about it, because if they did, they'd be talking about a Biden thing. You can't have that. You can't have that. We can't. We'll do it, but we won't talk about it. We'll promote it in our state, but we won't tell you where it came from. We're going to be the Republican senators that got this new plant built, or series of plants and solar projects built in our state. We're going to talk about all the greatness of this for jobs and tax creation, everything else. But we're not going to admit that it was Joe and Nancy that kind of did this for us. Obviously not. The country's divided enough as it is. It's not going to get any better. There is what's happening here underneath the headlines. All right. So a lot of normal, everyday Americans out there who are saying to themselves, hey, I don't give a crap what you think. I don't give a crap what you believe in. Can I just find a job so I can make my car payment, student loan payment, pay my mom and dad back for all the money they lent me over the years, or look after my wife and daughter and son and kids and pay my rent? That's all I want. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to talk politics. I just want to make money. Can I just get by? I would like to work, however, for a company where I won't poison myself when I do the work. That would be a nice thing. I don't want to work for a company where I have a higher chance of getting killed on the job because it's a dangerous job. So, I'll avoid certain professions. I can't be a doctor. I haven't got that kind of skill. I can't be a lawyer. But boy, I can work with my hands. I can think with my feet and my head. What can I get into where I have security, job security for years and years and years, and I can fend for my family? Well, solar power, battery plant generation, and other industries that rely on the kind of power that can be created here is the way to go. And so Berkshire Hathaway, they know, yeah, we're going to invest in dozens of these projects all over the United States. And we're going to be one of the largest benefactors of these billions of tax dollars that are being handed out. They're available if you deliver the goods. You build it, we will pay you. It says the American government. You build it, we'll compensate you for this. We want this bill. We want America to get off of natural gas and coal and oil burning facilities. We want America to be a world leader in energy production, in electricity creation in the cleanest way possible. Solar, the sun is shining on us anyway. Why not take it? The wind is blowing. Let's do that. And it's being done here in Europe, big time over here, and it's not a big deal. And that's the thing to remember. Germany has always been, for decades, hundreds of years, a major coal producing country. France, coal mines. Italy, coal mines. Austria, coal mines. Russia, coal mines. And now all of a sudden, around here, they thought in the 50s and 60s, they thought the answer was nuclear, especially the French. They thought, we'll build nuclear power plants all over France and have clean power. Well, yeah, it does produce clean power, except that you have these rods that are, radioactive. What do you do with those? America has a problem with that. Canada has a problem with that. So does everyone else. But with solar and with wind, you don't have that problem. All of a sudden, if you can make solar even more efficient and create battery storage systems for the solar that you produce during the day that now makes it available at night, all of a sudden you've got a 24/7 solution that is powered by a star 8 million miles from us. It's happening here. It can happen in our hometown. Anyway, there you go. That's a thingy. But I can tell you that you want to have a bunch of politicians talk about this. You're only going to get half of them that'll talk about it. The other half will, ignore the issue, won't even bring it up. And then, of course, there's a certain percentage of both sides that don't believe anything anyone says anyway, because it's all conspiracies. But boy, it would sure be nice to get rid of these smokestacks that have this black crap coming out of the top of them because of coal burning for electricity. Apparently, right now in West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, I think I read this right, more electricity is being created today in West Virginia from solar than from coal burning. I understand that in America, it is quickly happening already, that solar electrical production is outdone over coal. Coal is on the way down. Solar is really surging, this, from what I understand. Anyway, I know in Canada, it's a big deal. Where I live in Alberta, a really big deal, because that's oil country, oil and gas country, and coal as well, because we have the Rocky Mountains over there. But solar is taking over as well as wind production. Most interesting. Anyway, good morning, everybody, to the show. Great to have you here with me today. I don't want to upset you out there. I hope I'm not, making you go crazy about this, but just want to let you know what the reality of the world is and what's going on. And leading countries, G20 leading countries, are going this direction in a big way because they know it. They know they have to. You cannot go back to the 50s and 60s. Those days are over. And anyway, here we are. Thank you all for popping in and saying hi. Thank you for these thumbs ups already this morning. It's great to have you here and good to see you. Let's get going. Let's hope for a good day today. Bobby Atkinson, been a member for 18 months. I appreciate that very much. As I always do. I love it when you guys pop these up. Gold Bagel member, 18 months. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. It's great to see you guys here. And when you announce these announcements, I love seeing them. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. What else is going on here? Here we go. Adam says that they have problems with wind power in Germany. Most industry is in the south, but the best wind is in the north. People don't want to build pylons, etc. But offshore wind blows almost all the time, day and night. I hear you there. In certain regions of countries, it makes more sense to have wind power. In certain regions of the country, it makes more power to have solar. In other areas, if you have hydro, you've got hydro. That's been around since the 1800s. But the idea of just burning fossil fuels for the cheap way out, it's over. That's pretty well over. Anyway, there it is. What can I say? What else is going on? Good morning from Drew. Thank you. Hi, Larry Titus, John Anderson. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. It's great to have you all here with us. 148 of you are here. We are 25 minutes away from opening for the day. The Dow has turned green, it looks like, on the futures market. We seem to be up 25 points right now on the Dow. We've got, let me get a refresh in, make sure we're up to speed here. There we go. Pardon me. We've got the Dow up about what? Sorry, let me pop that up there. Come on, computer, do work for me, please. Please work for me. There we go. We're up 22 on the Dow. We're down 3 on the S&P, and we're down 28 on NASDAQ. Nothing serious here. Oil still down 2 cents a barrel. China is also a big deal around here and in the US and Canada from many, many levels. There's the political problem, the military issues, and there's the trade issues and the economic issues. And on economics, China is in real big trouble. We are not seeing the odd story anymore about Chinese real estate problems, or the odd once in a while article about SoFi having, unemployment problems with their younger people. Or this is a constant drumbeat of crap coming out of China. This is just not stopping. We seem to be getting almost daily stories through correspondents around the world, business observers who are saying China has got a world of problems, export level problems, import problems, unemployment issues, financial issues, demand problems. The middle class, the Chinese middle class, are shutting their wallets. They're shutting their wallets. They're saving more money than they normally save because they're worried about the future more than ever before. They are absolutely not convinced and are not falling for the old communist storyline that China's the greatest country in the world and that you just go ahead and work hard and spend hard and play hard. It's not working anymore. Too many parents in China with graduating children from university who are unemployed are going, I'm not going to go and buy a new car right now with my 25-year-old son living at home. I can't find a job. I got a 22-year-old daughter that's in school that's coming out in 2 years. Doesn't look good for her either. We're not going to spend money on a bunch of furniture and go on a nice vacation somewhere. We need money to feed these kids. We got to get them on their feet. There are those 30-year-olds and 35-year-olds who are worried about losing their jobs, let alone holding their job. They're worried about losing their jobs, and they're not going to go and spend on a new Gucci handbag or a Patek Philippe wristwatch or anything like that. They're not doing it. They're holding back. Yeah, sure, the top 1% are rich and they'll always be rich and they won't have to worry about it. It's okay. Yeah, but the rest of them, they're not buying into this stuff. The families that have been saving a huge percentage of their wealth into banks and other institutions in China that have been paying very high interest rates on real estate development, these folks are getting hammered. There are a whole bunch of financial investment funds not paying their dividends, not paying their interest payments. These folks are in huge financial distress. The national government has to decide whether or not to bail them out or not. And it's not a $50 billion problem. We're talking trillions of dollars here. Not good stuff. So there's all kinds of issues. In Europe here, the China problem is a European problem, not so much in America, but here it's a big problem. Europe and China have a very strong relationship with goods going back and forth. Germany exports a lot of product out of here to China and the Asia area as a whole in any event. When the number two economy of the world does not buy your product like they did last year or the year before or 10 years ago, this spells trouble here in Europe. And France, Germany, Austria, Italy, England, Denmark, Spain, all the countries around here are really getting bit by the slowdown from China not buying their finished product as before. And that means Europeans aren't buying as much Chinese-made product. It's a two-way street. If you're not buying from me, I can't buy from you. Cash, 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 goods, goods. That's the issue. And in America, it's a little different in that America buys from China $10 for every dollar it sells to China. And the beef in the US has been the same for decades. These guys don't buy our stuff like we buy their stuff. Well, yeah, it's simple. We love buying cheap stuff for our house and our garage and our gardens and our vehicles. But we can't sell the goods that China wants from us. We don't have enough of it. Canada does have a surplus with China, or usually has a surplus, because Canada can sell a lot more in raw materials to China than finished goods from China, because Canada has 35 to 40 million people, not 400 million people. And so China can only sell so many TV sets to Canada, and then Canada's drowning in television sets. Whereas Canada can sell a lot of trees and a lot of nickel and a lot of iron ore and a lot of other raw materials to China, because Canada has the second largest country in the world. So yeah, that's how that works up there. All right, there you go. There's our latest little geography lesson for you. We got 18 minutes to go. Everyone, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're all here. Good morning, says Drew. I'm glad you're back. Thank you, Larry. We are back. Flint Creek, desperately fighting the windmills and solar farms in our town. Educate yourselves. It is not the green energy you hope for. It's a money grab. We depend on tourism, and this crap will kill our industry. I can tell you, Flint Creek, here in Germany, you're on a train and you're heading from one town to another. You see these windmills everywhere. Around here, it's no big deal. It doesn't interfere with any tourism whatsoever. It is completely accepted as normal. And you ask the typical German on the street around here, what would you rather have? A coal-fired power plant, a nuclear-fired power plant, or wind farms or solar farms? And they'll take the wind farm, solar farm anytime, day or night. There are plants in Germany that burn natural gas that used to come from Russia. Cheap, plentiful natural gas from Russia would come into Europe through Poland, into Germany, other countries. And Germans were just using cheap electricity made by this material. Problem is, the smoke, you can't export the smoke. It goes up into the air and is a problem. The Germans here have figured out their best bet is eliminate Russian natural gas, yes, but eliminate coal and eliminate nuclear and go with solar and wind. And there are farms all around Hamburg, Dortmund, Frankfurt, you name it, where just out of town, you've got a farmer that raises cows and sheep and pigs and grows some wheat. They got these gigantic wind farms, windmills just churning around. Doesn't interfere with anything. There are some issues here and there with these windmills, but with solar farms, it's not an issue. I am telling you, it is not an issue here. It's been 20 years. It's not like they just put these up last week. These have been around here for 15, 20 years. They are now becoming the number one source of electrical generation in this country and in France and elsewhere. And the population around here is kind of going, what's the whoop all about? It's no big deal at all. Interesting, though. Brian, good morning. Number 71, JR, thank God it's over. We need a clean air to breathe and less CO2 that warms the planet. Well, like I said, around here, it is surprising. When we were in London, Jennifer and I, last week, it was most interesting because at the same time we were in London, there was the story making world press about how the city of London was going to expand this zone they had around downtown London was going to be expanded much larger that would penalize owners of vehicles that were driving diesel burning only cars and trucks in this massive district of London. And you had the two sides arguing it out, and you've had it for years here in Europe, but now it's global. It's a global chat. And people who ride bicycles to work are going, about time, because being in the street with 6 lanes of traffic, and 90% of the vehicles are burning gas and oil or diesel when they could be hybrids. There's stop and go traffic all the time down here. I mean, it's so ridiculous. You don't need a gasoline powered engine to be anywhere in the middle of London. You can't go more than 30 miles an hour anyway. You can't get up to that speed. What do you need a gasoline or diesel engine for in London? Just use a bloody hybrid. Plug it in at night at your house, and you got 50 miles of range for your commute in the morning. Then the number of Teslas that we see here, huge in Germany and in Britain, tons of Teslas everywhere. Power stations, I should say, unlike supercharging stations that Tesla has in America, where you go to a location at a mall and there's 15 superchargers, here in Europe, you'll walk along the street and on the corner, there's one parking lot with one charger. And across the street over there on that corner is a charger. They're everywhere, but there's not like 50 of them in one spot. They're just scattered about like no big deal. And no one pays attention to them. There's no protesting going on. It's just like, yeah, that's where you charge up your Fiat, or you charge up your Tesla, or charge up your Audi, or charge up your Benz. That's all. The parkades around here, most of which are underground, but some above ground, they have charging stations inside the parkades. No one sees it except the car owners. They're the only ones who notice. Pedestrians walking about, kids going to school and stuff. Clean air, beautiful blue sky, fresh air to breathe, and quiet. Really quiet. It is something. You want to see the future, you got to come here. That's the catch. You want to understand what the future looks like in energy, you got to come to Germany and England, because they're ahead of us. Back in North America, we're in the dark ages. Like, we're 20 years ago. We're 30 years back. We're way behind. Anyway, Flint Creek, we get zero electricity from 200 turbines in our area. They are better, cleaner, better ways. Flint, you don't think solar is dirty. We are finding out the dirty truth. We are an area depending on vineyards and organic farms, and the beauty. It's not that we're against green energy. We're not. Again, here, they've gone through all this. They've debated this for generations now. And they have made their decisions here. They're not going with coal. They're not going with natural gas, and they're not going nuclear. Out, and out. And they are prepared to pay a price to go the other direction, because you always pay a price. You stay on coal, you pay a price to stay on coal. You stay nuclear, you're going to pay a price. You go wind farm or solar, you'll pay a different price, but not catastrophic price. And the population here is willing to go with it. All around where I am here, there are 5- and 6-story office buildings and warehouses and hotels and what have you. From above, they all have solar panels on them. It's incredible. They're all paneled up and they're generating solar. They may not produce enough solar for this hotel to operate the entire hotel, but if this hotel produces a third of its electricity, huge difference. huge. Excuse me. Let's see. Don't the wind turbines need to be powered by coal? No, it's wind. Hello. Amy, good morning, Bruce. A testy donkey, they won't be pristine, Flint Creek, if they all keep burning fossil fuels. Solar leaches chemicals and destroys the ecosystems. I have a tough time believing that as a general rule. JR, is it perfect? No, but can it be better? Yeah, can be, and it will be. Uncle Bruce, thanks for the education on ICs, condors. It's great to write very far out of the money, bring in a good premium, ramp up the number of contracts without suckling down my buying power, sit back and watch the time work its magic. Way to go, JR. I'm glad to hear that. Good morning, y'all from Slayer. Robert Benson, number 78, Flint Creek. You don't get it. I don't get it. Brian, agreed. Creating solar panels is very toxic, but so is oil and the tar sands. Solar panels don't create oil spills, destroying more environment. Deliver, install, and done. Flint Creek, we aren't pro fossil fuels. It's okay. This was at least, is this at least Diet Coke you're drinking? Oh, yes, it is. Brian, wind turbines are like 8 to 15% efficient, but wind will never go away. Flint, trust me, we're deeply involved in preservation here. It's all good, Flint. I don't have a problem with your position, your situation. It's all good. We're all looking for the same positive result. But in any event, the world is changing and it's shifting. The 50s are over. The 1850s are over. The 1750s are over. We can't talk to anybody today that was alive in the 17 and 1800s in places like Leeds, Manchester, London, and other cities in UK, where the coal was being burned in every house, in every apartment block, in every business. And the soot was on the outside of all the buildings, making them all black. We see today in downtown everywhere here in Europe, buildings that are spotlessly clean because they don't have the soot anymore from those days. We also can't talk to people from the 20s and 30s and 40s what it was like then, because they also have aged out on us. Our parents and grandparents have, gotten very old. And so we're on our own in this generation to move forward to the next. All I can say is if you advance technology, which is happening, and you can create solar and wind turbine technology that is cleaner and more friendly every generation you enhance it, I think that's the way we have to go. But everyone has their opinion. It's okay. Whatever you think is working for you, it's fine. Robert Benson, you are coming to Copenhagen. Let's meet up for a coffee. Anyway, I'll send you my contact information in your email. Please do. JR, when fusion comes online, these arguments can end, and we'll have clean, abundant energy. Flint Creek, I will gladly forward the studies on dirty solar. Testy Donkey, Bruce, have you been in the fish market in Hamburg? No. It's 5 a.m., but something not to miss. No, I'm not going to the fish market in Hamburg. I'm sorry. It's not in my top 100 list of what I want to do. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's entertaining. I'm not going. Okay, Testy Donkey. Fusion is still 50 years away. There you go. It's all good. How you guys doing? Some of you are all riled up. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're fine. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for joining me today from Hamburg, Germany. Thank you for the thumbs ups that have come in so far. Thank you for that. Please hit the thumbs up button if you can. Help the channel out. We would muchly appreciate it. Thank you all so very much. I was talking to my cousin the other day about this channel and stuff, and I have relatives of mine that, of course, they live in Canada. They see us regularly, that kind of thing. We all have those relatives, and then we have relatives that we don't see so often. And definitely, my German-based relatives, don't know my minute-to-minute lifestyle, or Jen and I's minute-to-minute lifestyle. But we get a chance to see them once in a while and talk to them, and it was interesting spending some time with my cousin the last 4 days to kind of fill him in on what's been happening on my 2 YouTube channels. 6 years ago, I had the travel channel, and 4 years ago, I created this channel. And we now have classes for this channel, and we do one-on-ones with some viewers on this channel. This channel's come a long way. It's evolved a lot, and my cousin is just, he kind of gets it. He's just going, man, like you're not just a YouTuber. I go, no, I'm not really just a YouTuber. I'm kind of like an educator and consultant in a way. I wear a number of hats, and because of these phenomenal, supporters of mine, Jen and I can travel a little bit now in our ancient years to see the world, before we, are wheelchair bound and drooling in the corner somewhere. So thank you, all of you, for your help. But yeah, my cousin, it really kind of sunk in. He kind of went, geez, yeah, your channel, there's a lot to it. I go, yeah, there is a lot to it. I'm not just on the air only talking to people. There's a whole lot more than that. Again, thank you all so much for popping through and seeing us and your support. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you, guys. We are 5 minutes away from opening for the day. Larry Titus is in the house. Thank you, Larry, very much. Thank you, Splair and JR and Flint Creek, Bobby, Testy Donkey, and everyone else. Cameron, we've just gone for member-only commentary now. Please become a member of this channel. You too can comment during market trading hours. Ask me anything you like about what's going on in the market. I'll try my best to answer it for you, see where things go. Thank you all for being part of this fantastic community and helping each other out with information as you need it. It's beautiful. It's good stuff. Like I said, I'll attempt to be on the air while on the road here on this holiday. Definitely I hope to be here definitely Friday from Copenhagen. We'll have landed there. The next couple of days, I'm not sure. This is Tuesday already. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'll be on the air. Thursday, we'll be on a train. Friday, Copenhagen, I'll be on the air. I should be on the air. And then next week, maybe Monday on the air. Tuesday, traveling to Stockholm. So it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from Stockholm, likely. Just stay tuned and keep an eye open. And thank you for being understanding as we're doing some traveling now here in Europe. Thank you for these thumbs ups. FX, I think I'm number 81, Bruce. I think I'm your 81st thumbs up. Thank you all. If you can find that thumbs up button, hit it and tell YouTube you like this guy. I appreciate that. That's the way you can do it. No matter how he riles you up, you like him anyway. Thank you so much. 89 of them. There they are. 89 thumbs up. They're coming in. Now we're going for 90 and maybe 100 here in a few moments. 3 minutes to go, and we will begin to trade. Thank you all for your support. Alrighty. What else is going on here? It's interesting also to note that in 1 year, things have really changed here in Europe in another area, the handling of money. A year ago, Jen and I, we went to our local bank in Canada, back in Calgary. We went to a bank branch and we ordered from them currency. We ordered British pounds, euros, and Swiss francs. And we had to wait a couple of days for the currency itself to be brought in from a main branch. No big deal. It was a week before we were leaving, and we picked up the currency. And so last year we were spending currency at restaurants and admission into a museum or whatever we were doing. This year, we came over here without any currency at all. I think I had in my pocket maybe €5 in coins from last year. I went to a bank machine in London and withdrew 100 UK pounds once. I still have 15 of them. I haven't spent yet. I won't be spending them on this trip because we won't be in the UK anymore. Yesterday at the train station, I got €100 out and gave the cab driver his fare in euros. Everything else electronic. It's shifted so quickly into chip technology. Just swipe your chip card over the reader, boom, boom, boom. It's very convenient, very quick, and very. I have to admit, it's very handy. We're going to go to Switzerland later, so we'll see about the franc there. I'm sure that even in Zurich they'll have shifted and will be shifting into non-cash transactions. It's rather surprising how quickly Europe in 1 year, from last year to this year, how just everything is being done electronically. I mean, we're watching other people, when they're in line at the grocery store and whatnot, and fewer transactions being done in cash, just like back home in Canada and the US. Quite amazing. Anyway, thank you all. Wing Commander Uncle Bruce, you're so right with writing further out. I spent the last week in the rollover hell. Now I'm sitting on September 29 spiders, and I'm folding my arms. Right on, you guys. Well done. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I brought this up about lengthening the time for your condors, especially SPY and triple Qs, so that you can go with much higher and lower priced calls and puts to put your condor positions on. They expire. They will die worthless a lot sooner than the last day they trade, especially if the stock just sort of sits in the middle. But it also allows you to tolerate a volatile day or two of an up market or a down market, because you're so far out of the money on your calls and your puts that they're going to depreciate regardless. This is the way you want to enjoy iron condor trading. All right. Let's see what's going on. Spare says, I agree. Digital, it's definitely happening here. In some cases, we've found certain restaurants will not accept cash. We have noticed that here. We don't accept cash, only credit cards or debit cards. I found that interesting. BW, breaking per CNBC, Saudi Arabia to extend voluntary cut of 1 million barrels a day until the end of the year. They can do this forever, for as far as I'm concerned. They won't do more. They'll only do this much. It's a drop in their little bucket as it is. But believe me, the other members of OPEC all cheat and produce way more than 1 million more barrels to make up for it. There's no shortage of oil anywhere. This is all show and tell. This is all just trying to put on a show that doesn't sell. It doesn't sell tickets. I think it's all a bunch of hooey. I will admit, right now, crude oil is $87.52, up $1.95. Hype and only hype. It's all BS. Do not fall for it. Larry Titus, thank you, my man, for hitting those bells for us. We are up and running. I appreciate that, sir. We're in business. The day has begun. We're going to find out to see what this market is all about. Thank you so far. Just hitting 100 thumbs ups today. Thank you all for helping us out on that mark. It is much appreciated. 100 thumbs ups coming in. Welcome all to the party. Welcome all to the show. And I'm glad you're all with us today. Nice to have you here. I'm a little late today, says Larry, but I got it done. Right on, buddy. BW, I got it, Uncle Bruce. I get it. Just showing the narrative. They want to push, moving the goalposts week over week. The WS way. There you go. You know it, my man. You know what they're up to. It's just a show, and it's not real. There's oil everywhere. There is no lineup at any gas station here in Germany for gas. Not one. Gasoline is about $1.90 a liter, euro 90 a liter. So yeah, it's $7.50, $8 a gallon. It's always been that here. It's always been $7.50, $8 a gallon. No difference. But so many of the vehicles here are going electric or combination hybrid gas. There's a much lower demand for fuel than before here. It really is evident. It's quite something. All right, there you go. Thank you all. Let's see here. Dean, thanks, Larry. Don't worry, you're late a little. It's all good. JR, Dubels. Haven't posted that in a long, long time. Drew, Wing Commander, I was in the same boat. Rollover hell during high volatility. It was no fun. I have September 8th looking to write another Iron Condor. Right on, Drew. BWAIER comments, Uncle Bruce, they are tomorrow. The earnings for AI are tomorrow. Also for GameStop. Isn't that tomorrow as well? Isn't it tomorrow? We think so. We'll see what happens with GameStop. Obviously, the shares are a little better than what they were, a little while ago, but not a ton better. I mean, they were down to what, 1630 August. Now we're at 1849. I mean, we still haven't come anywhere near recovery for the last few months. Interestingly, the Dow, by the way, is up 2 points this morning to start this session. And over on the S&P and the Nasdaq, let's take a look at those guys. Here we go. Yeah, 13 on the Dow, down 10 the S&P, down 6 on. Sorry, no, I'm incorrect. Sorry, folks. My computer thinks I'm in Germany, and I am in Germany, so it's giving me European results. I want the American results. The Dow's up 2. S&P down 7.7 and NASDAQ down 59. That's what we're really doing. Here in Europe, we're just getting ready to shut down in the next couple hours for the day. Oil, 194 higher at 87.49. I don't know how long that's going to last. Not believing that very much. The spiders are down 77 cents. The Qs are down 114. We got GameStop up 8 cents at 18.50. Got SoFi at 8.80, up 1 penny. Pretty quiet opening here. Apple down 162. Netflix is up 5.33. AI down 13 cents. We're not getting this pre-earning hype machine kicking in, are we? Isn't that interesting how that works? In the last month, AI was $36 a share about a month ago, then dropped down to about 28.30 or something like that, August 24th. And now from 28.30 to 31.10. So not quite a $3 recovery, but not an $8 recovery. And that's something, we'll see how this plays. The numbers do come out, I guess, tomorrow after the bell. And the question will be, will the numbers from AI vindicate what the street has been thinking, which is it'll be better, but maybe not a lot better, or blow the street away with like, wow, it's like so much higher. We had no inkling it would be this good, like Nvidia. Is it going to be an Nvidia kind of an announcement, or are they going to disappoint? They're going to announce higher revenues, but the street's going to go, that's not high enough for where your stock is at. My thinking here, in one way, is that AI right now, trading at $30.99 a share, the market cap of this company is $3.6 billion. That's the AI market cap, okay? Just to kind of put this in perspective for you, all right? GameStop is $5.6 billion market cap. GameStop is $2 billion more valuable on paper stock than AI is. And remember, GameStop's at $18.58. It's not at $25 a share. We've come down $2 billion on GameStop, down to $5.6 billion in market cap. AI at $3.6 billion is a kind of a company, in my humble opinion, being a software creator. These guys can go from 100 million in sales to $1 billion in sales to $4 billion in sales in successive quarters or years. GameStop cannot go from where it is today and double their revenues next year. They can't open 4,000 more stores in 1 year. They won't have hot game after hot game after hot video game to take them to another level. There's no way GameStop can double their sales in 1 year or even in 2 years. AI can go up tenfold in their sales. They can go up 50-fold in their sales. The question is, will the street buy into this and admit that, this AI company is on fire and their numbers are really coming on? I would not bet against this stock. That is my opinion. I would not be counting on the stock to go to $10 a share. I would be fearful of the stock going to $60 a share. But will it? And if it is, how long will it take? There's the question. I think the upside is much better off for AI. In other words, if they double their value to $62 a share from 31, they'll be worth $7.2 billion. NVIDIA is $1.2 trillion. I mean, there's no comparison here. There's a lot of upside for AI that could be had. Let me just take one more peek at something else. Unity software, the letter U. Stock's at $36.91. All right. It bottomed out last month, $33, something like that, $33.80, whatever. Now just short of $36, $37. This is a $14 trillion company. Their market cap is $14 trillion. They're 4 times more valuable than AI. And AI insists management, every time management is asked, and don't think that the president isn't shy about going on camera. He's on camera a lot. This guy is in front of the camera saying, we're really growing our company. We're very excited about where we're going here. Our numbers are coming on. I don't doubt this guy. I wouldn't shortchange this guy at all. So from 3 point something billion to 10 billion, that's a $90 stock. Think about that. I don't think there's a $10 future for this stock. I think the shorters of this company, I wouldn't be surprised if they've already purchased calls on the stock to protect themselves against the surge, against that short position they have. It could well be some of these hedge funds will take on, have already done so, have taken on long positions through derivatives off the market. We can't see it ourselves. We can't track it because derivative trading, as you know, is not regulated. No senator, no congressperson in the United States can regulate derivative trading or supervise it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's going on right there. All right, there you go. Interesting stuff. We'll see what's going on here. What else is happening here? Let's see. Blair putting in a lot of comments about SoFi and other stocks and stuff. Wing Commander, thoughts, Uncle Bruce, thoughts on Spider bear calls. 450, 460 expiring September 29. Premium is around 420. The risk is 580. What do you think about Spire? Well, we're at 449. Let's call it 450 on Spire right now. I would not be playing this game. I would not be playing this game to be, right at the market. And the reason is because of volatility. I'm just trying to be, I want to be as conservative as possible when it comes to iron condors or spreads. I understand that if you do 450s and 460s, you get a premium and that reduces your risk factor and all that stuff. I totally get it. But I sit here as an old veteran of this market, knowing all the craziness of these markets, how they can go stupid at any time, up and down. That an SPY, if you're going to do a condor for September 29, let's say a condor, you could probably get 350 to 550 contracts, maybe 370s to 520s on the low and high end with a condor. I would rather have 20 of those, 50 of those, 100 of those with a $5 spread on the top and the bottom end. That might be the better way to go with it, or a $10 spread to start if you've got enough margin. That's where I would really go. And as the days go by, you'll find, of course, the markets fluctuate. the calls and the puts will start to peter out, and you'll start positioning in and increase your credit on hand to max out your return. But that's me. That's where I come from. That's why I talked about iron condors when I did class number 16. That's kind of where I think I'd be concentrating my energies rather than this. But again, each of you have to decide for yourselves what's comfortable for you. How active are you watching the market? How active do you want to be? Are you capable of not leaving your computer or iPad or the market behind for any reason for 10 minutes during the day? Can you at all times be in front of the market? For some of you, you can't do that. You can take a position and you're going to occasionally glance at the market during your day. Well, if you're that kind of an investor, you cannot be involved in very tight spread condors or anything like that. I mean, you're going to miss trades. You cannot be playing that game. You've got to go further down the road, wider spreads, much more protection. It'll be a lot easier on probably your system as well, probably on your heart, probably a lot better for your blood pressure. All right, there you go. Thank you all for popping in here and saying hi to me. We have 108 thumbs ups. Thank you for 108 thumbs ups. Appreciate that. We have a total of 173 loyal viewers watching, which of course it means that right now there are at least 65 slackers. At least. Did you know that the actor that played Mr. Strickland in the Back to the Future movies, that in real life he is 92 years old? The actor that played Mr. Strickland is 92 years old. Don't get caught by Mr. Strickland. He's still roaming the hallways. Don't get caught with a pink slip because you didn't give me a thumbs up this morning. Don't let that happen to you. Help me out and pop a thumbs up out there right now for us. We have 113, 114 coming in. It is appreciated. Don't let them catch you red-handed roaming the halls without a thumbs up in your back pocket. What was the other thing I was going to mention? I noticed that Michael J. Fox, a little trivia for you. When Michael J. Fox was playing Marty McFly in the original movie in 1985, he was 24 years old. And did you know that the actor who originally played George McFly, his dad, in real life was 21 years old? So the son, the guy playing the son, was older than the guy playing his father. I thought that was pretty interesting. Marty McFly versus George McFly. What can I say? Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Cindy B, for thumbs up number 113. I know I can always count on you. Also, who cares? Number 114, Bruce. I am here for you. Thank you so much for that 114 thumbs up. Uncle Bruce, lots of articles this weekend. SoFi will be the underwriter of Instacart IPO. What's that mean in plain English? I don't believe they're the lead underwriter, but I'll explain it anyway. When a company goes public, they want to sell shares to the world at large. They want to basically bring in millions of dollars of fresh capital. Shares will be sold from the treasury of the corporation through stockbrokers. They will try to sell shares to between maybe nowadays probably between 2,000 and 10,000 investors. They will sell shares in increments of 50 to 100 to 300 to 500 shares to as many people as possible. Spread out the shares to a large group of followers. There are pension funds and hedge funds and mutual funds and other ETFs that buy larger blocks. They might get some in the IPO. But they'll probably get most of those shares from private placements a year or two ago with restrictions. They can't just sell the stock the first minute they get them once they start trading. But a brokerage firm that acts as a as an underwriter, to be the underwriter of the issue. Usually you'll have a lead firm. Instacart might be dealing with maybe Morgan Stanley or something like that, where Morgan Stanley will work with the legal people, the lawyers of Instacart, the legal people at Morgan Stanley. They'll put together what's called a prospectus, a document explaining the company, its risk factors, its upside, its downside, and all that stuff. The document will be sent to the Securities and Exchange Commission for review. They will come back with some suggestions on some changes and some language adjustments. That'll be done. In the meantime, the lead firm, Morgan Stanley or whoever it is, will attract other brokerage firms to become co-underwriters. And that's where SoFi probably is coming in. They're part of the IPO group, but they're not the leader of the issue. Again, I could be wrong. They might be, but I doubt they are. It's usually a large investment banker in New York that will act as lead underwriter. But then they will contact 25 other brokerage firms, and each firm will commit to taking maybe 1 to 5% of the total shares to be offered for their clientele. But they'll also pledge to spread those shares around to a huge group of investors. Again, to get as many shareholders as possible to own the stock the day of listing. Those people can trade the stock right away if they want. They can buy and sell all they want. So if you get 100 shares of Instacart, you want to sell them within an hour for $20 a share more, knock yourself out. You want to buy more, try to buy more. SoFi probably is being given an allocation of, maybe it's 200,000 shares, 500,000 shares, 2 million shares. I don't know. What they will likely do is offer all participants of SoFi, clients of SoFi, they may all be offered an opportunity to buy stock, and you'll be allowed to enter an order. They might say to everybody, we'll allow every one of our shareholders, every one of our clients, would be, you can ask for up to 100 shares each, or something like that. Now, what might happen is there might be 50,000 people that each would like to get 100 shares of the company. SoFi will come back to each one of you and say, I'm sorry, due to the overwhelming demand of requests for the stock of Instacart, we're only able to sell you 3 shares, 5 shares, 2 shares, 9 shares, whatever the number is. You might get a fraction, a small fraction. Or you might be told, I'm sorry, we're way over allocated, and only 1 in 10 people will actually get any stock at all because we're doing a lottery kind of a thing, and you didn't get picked, or whatever. That could happen. That could happen with every one of the brokerage firms that are part of the IPO team. So all the brokerage firms that are part of the initial public offering group may be all oversubscribed on the issue, and no one anywhere gets all the stock they wanted. They're all getting just a sliver of the stock they want. You know what that means? That means the minute that stock starts trading on the open market, it will trade at a premium. Now, if you've got 5 shares of Instacart and you're up $10 a share when it starts trading, you're $50 richer than what you put into the stock. You only got 5 shares. Do you want to try and buy 95 more to get 100 and then maybe write an option against it? They won't trade options the first minute of the first day of the stock's listing. It'll probably take a week or 2, maybe a month before options actually start trading on Instacart, but they will. You can always write a cash secured put down the road someday, or you can do an iron condor on Instacart. Totally up to you at that time. I hope that helps explain it. I hope I'm all right. What else is going on? Strickland is watching. That is right. His dad in the past, right? George McFly, the first George McFly that we saw at the counter at the soda shop when Marty was sitting there like this with his, Biff came walking in the door and you saw George McFly. That was it. Received now. Splair says received now $2 for $8 Rocket Lab September call and rolled it for 17 into 15 call. Hope to close at 43 or $4 gain, at least 3 to fail. Not quite sure what that means, but it sounds good. BW, I did the SoFi IPO for NU Bank pre-retail release, and it sucked. Got only 28 shares the day it goes public. Wait till you have $1 million in asset value, and then angel invest into the IPO in early funding round. There you go. BW, the shot, the entire Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz as Marty, and then they realized Zemeckis that they wanted Michael J. and reshot everything. Yep, that's right. Michael J. A-lister versus Eric C-lister forever. Yep, they had to stop production about a third of the way through. They let Eric Stoltz go, and they brought Michael J. Fox in, who they wanted originally, and they finally got Michael J. Fox. Reshot all the scenes with Michael J. Fox and continued on. Total of 3 movies, and the rest is history. It worked out very, very well. Yep, it sure did. Most interesting stuff. We are now open about 26 minutes. The Dow's down 80. We're down 15 on the S&P. We're down 64 on NASDAQ. So it's a little bit negative, a fifth of a point, a third of a point, half a point. Oil at 173 is a gain at 87.32. Seems to have stopped going up. We got Spiders down 152. We got Q's down 116. GameStop is up 37 cents here at 18.77. Tomorrow, I believe, is GameStop earnings day. SoFi unchanged, 8.79. Apple down 146 at $188. Netflix is up 5.51. AI down 65 cents. Tomorrow is earnings day for AI. NVIDIA down 51 cents. Tesla is up 5.71 to 250. Rocket Lab up 12 cents, make it 13 now. Matterport down 3. SmartRent up 10. Owens Corning down $6. ATIP down 9 cents to $9.08. Unity down 16. Google down 76 cents. Moderna down 120. Cisco down 24. Pfizer is up 19, IBM up 16, HBQ down 29 cents at $30.08. Microsoft is up 60 cents. ME is down 4, Amazon down 182, Spire down 11 cents to 538. The shares were at the low end just before they split 8 for 1. They were at 455. You divide that by 8 and you're getting whatever that number is, 50 cents. Now we're at 538. They did top the other day. Looks like they reached 594 or something like that, even 606 maybe. Now 538 on 26,000 volume. That's the story there. On Spire, HD Home Depot down 480, Vanik down 73, Adobe down 418, Goldman down $3, Boeing down 88 cents, Meta up 38 cents, Target Corporation up $1, JP Morgan down 52 cents, Costco is up 268, Walmart up 60, Disney up 20, American Airlines up 38. And DraftKings down 53 cents. AMC now $12.79, down 31 cents, or $12.77. So that's $1.27 after the 10-for-1 rollback split on AMC, actually. Yeah, there it is. That's the story. Dow is up, down 67 points at the moment. All right. There's the story. What else is going on here? Thank you all. Thank you all for popping through. Appreciate it. We have thumbs ups now. Let's take a look. Are we 119? We're going for 120 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that too. All right, there's the deal, everybody. We're open. We're trading. We'll see if there's much to this market here. No massive headlines. If any of you are coming to see Jennifer and I live in New Jersey, Secaucus, New Jersey, it's October the 21st. It's a month. It's a Saturday. It's not a Monday. It's a Saturday, October 21. We're going to be at the Harmony Suites Hotel in Secaucus, New Jersey, and a number of you have sent me emails. Please do let me know if you would like to come and see us. We're trying to figure out what the number will be. Looks like so far at least 20 of you are coming, which is great. I'll see how many more want to show up. This is my email address right here, brucefarman@hotmail.com. Let me know how many of you will be coming by to see us anytime between about noon and 5 in the afternoon, something like that. We're going to have a meeting room set up at the Harmony Suites. That's the plan anyway. And I would love to have you pop by. No charge to you. It's just park the car in the parkade next to the hotel. Come on in and say hi to us. Would be lovely to meet you in person. Again, there's the email address. You can find that on my homepage anytime you need it. Absolutely fantastic. Should be a good time. That is October 21 after we leave Europe and fly across from Munich to JFK. We'll then be at the hotel and we'll look to see it. That'll be great. Sweet. It's been great seeing a few folks here, and we may see a few more. Fantastic. Get together with you guys and catch up with some Europeans here. Fabulous. And as I say, Jen and I are just enjoying the area in Europe again, and we have avoided terrible weather. I've just avoided it. It's been just spectacular weather for the most part. Light shower activity in London for a little bit, nothing to worry about. Very good. We're heading to Copenhagen and Stockholm. Apparently going to be sunny when we get up there. Mid 70s, not a problem. Definitely looking forward to that kind of weather. But I think I've timed it just right. Wing Commander Uncle Bruce, I'm looking at the Spider option chain, and I'm trying to figure out how to create a conservative iron condor for the end of September. But I'm coming up empty. Any suggestions where to start? No, I don't have one. I'd have to do some digging here. But bottom line is, take a look at the contracts right now. The spiders are, well, let's call them 449.61, just under 450. So if you're going to look at something, you might want to look at a late September or early October timing, if that's what you need to do, and see if you can get a decent position put together. Let me take a look right now, just for fun. I'm going all the way to October. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get it. Here it is. Okay, my big ass iPad is glitchy. Let's take a look here. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Well, with a 450 price on the stock right now, roughly 449.59. I would be looking at puts probably down in this low 400 range. Definitely. The lower the better, obviously. But if you're going to write, you're going to write a put on SoFi, you could write like maybe a 412 for 66 cents or something like that, and then pick up maybe 395 at 33. Keep this in mind, though. I'm looking at the October contracts, and there's wide spreads between each one. I'm looking at, say, 380s, 385s, 390s, 395s, 406s, 408s, 412s, 414, 416. It's not $1 at a time. So it might be a bit early to look at October contracts. On the other hand, you can certainly write something here where you might have a $12 spread between the puts and the calls, but then again, you are out a month on this contract. So obviously, the wider the spread, the better. Can you pull off a scenario where what you get for your put and what you get for the call that you write versus what you pay for the call and for the put that you buy, can that spread be 30 cents, 35 cents, for example, on each side, giving you 70 cents of a total spread? And can you write 20 of those, 30, 40 positions? Obviously, if you can only write one condor, one condor, and it's a 70-cent spread, it's only a $70 profit. Not worth your while, obviously. So if you can do 10 for 700, 20 for 1,400, you might investigate it. Okay. As the days go by, later this week, next week, you may find that these contracts, these October the 6th expiry, you'll likely find more contracts appearing in front of you that will bring the spreads down. Eventually, there will be a contract at every dollar available. Eventually, the next 2 weeks, I'm sure. And you will find that you will begin to adjust your condors going forward, where you're going to, the first thing you're going to do is tighten the spread between your written call and long call, in your written put and your long put. You're going to tighten those out. And you may find that depending on where the market goes, you'll tighten the values of the calls and the puts closer to the market, depending on where the market is. Again, trying to add additional capital into your account. But it might be, for this week, a lost cause to think about October 5th contracts. It might be next week that you can do October 5th contracts on a condor that will pay you the kind of credit you want to get. Yeah, you have to be patient on this sort of stuff. Larry, near 100 degrees Fahrenheit right now in DC. That's the next 3-4 days. Hottest days of the year, and it's after Labor Day. Yes, this is something. Dude, wing, you can have wider wings at first to bring in huge premium on your right, then bring in the wings as you get closer in time. If you're writing October, that's my half-brain answer. Again, dude makes a point. I'm trying to make the point that on the one hand, you can go kind of like 400 on the bottom end and 500 on the upper end, like this. But you might go 420 and 480 to start with. And then you'll adjust those contracts as you go further down in time. But you might not take the first position until late this week, maybe next week. Burrow King Sound, how you doing? Good morning. How you doing, everybody? Nice to see you there, Burrow King Sound. Thank you for popping in. We have 125 thumbs ups. Keep them coming in, guys. Thank you very much. Good morning, classroom, says Burrow King Sound. Splair, before I forget, does it make sense to create a small credit spread on GameStop in one or both directions? At least after earnings, but probably with time until next Friday. I'm not going to play with fire on GameStop for a spread trade right now. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm not worried about GameStop coming out with an announcement that would be extremely, extremely bad. I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for as a surprise for GameStop is the kind of an announcement where they say sales were so much, expenses were this much lower, and we had a profit. Nothing earth-shattering. I'm not looking for 200 million in profits. I'm just wondering, have they at GameStop reduced expenses so far, so much, as they keep coming through now every week, every month, that they are able to make a huge difference on their bottom line? That even if the sales are flat, their expenses are much lower, and there's a profit spread beginning to show up. Is that the the actual game plan here? Is that actually the plan of Mr. Cohen and his directors? Because they've gone through CFOs, CEOs, they're gone. They've unloaded people the last 6 months, last year. They started layoffs a year ago, year and a half ago, before Wall Street got into the act. Is that the game plan here? Is this company's is the company's expenses being shrunk so much they can't help but make money now? Is that the story here? Because it looks to me like Ryan Cohen is keeping a very close eye on expenses. So that's that's a surprise I'm worried about. It's not a terrifyingly scary thing. I'm just worried about an upside surprise, not a downside disaster story. I don't see that. They've already gotten rid of the worst locations. Will they surprise us with an announcement that in the last 3 months they've closed off 200 more stores? Or will they announce they're going to close 200 more stores or 400 more stores in the next 3 to 6 months? That's what we're going to wait for. Dude says, Uncle Bruce is pretty much saying this. I've had great results taking premium off Iron Condor, rewriting and adjusting, especially on SPY. Very liquid. Very good, dude. I'm glad to see this. Not right now, but after earnings, first I should wait and look, see it's going. I agree. Wait and see how it's going. Look, you can play Iron Condors on GameStop all you want if you want to do that. With a $15 downside and a $25 upside, you could probably do it depending on how far out you go. Totally up to you guys. Cash secured puts. You could look at that. Shares are now $19.10, up 68 cents. You could play a cash secured put game on GameStop. Sure, you can. But I'm worried that the GameStop shares would go to 25 versus 15. I think there's upside potential more than downside. But that's just me. I'm not a Wall Street analyst. We're up 72 right now on GameStop at 19.14. It's taking a little shot here. I wouldn't bet against it. That's just the way I am. 691,000 traded now. 19.14 last trade, high of 19.16. It's got a little surge going right now, but this isn't anything big. It's just leading up to the earnings. AI, look at this, 30.52, down 70 cents. Earnings tomorrow. I'm surprised that AI is doing this. But is AI under pressure right now because of the shorters? Are they purposely slamming the stock lower, expecting the earnings to not be good enough to bring in everybody to buy up the stock? Is that what they're gambling on right now? I don't know. Maybe 30.47 on AI and 19.22 on GameStop. GameStop's going up. AI is going down. That's all I got. That's what I see right now. Welcome everybody to the show and to the channel. It's great to have you here. 164 of you are here watching me live from Hamburg in Germany right now. 128 thumbs ups have come in today. The slackers are disappearing in front of our eyes. Strickland has obviously been scaring you into getting the thumbs up meter hit. I appreciate that. Keep them coming in, everybody. The Dow Jones right now is down 79 points at the moment. We've got a 13-point drop on S&P, and we have a 49-point drop on NASDAQ. I think it's time to honor the Knights of Knee. I think it's time to put the knee emojis out there to let the Knights of Knee know that even though Uncle Bruce is in Hamburg and he was in Dortmund, he has not forgotten about our friends over at the Knights of Knee. And it's time to get the knee emojis going, because God help us if they ever figure out that we're not honoring them, we're in big, big trouble. Thank you, Splair and Aurora. Thank you to Richard Carlin. The knee emojis are beginning to pop up here from a number of viewers. Howdy Partners got in. It got the knee emojis going. Must honor the Knights of Knee. Or you're asking for trouble, kids. I don't want you losing money. I want you making money. So Don't upset the Knights of Knee. Alex knows. Knee. Absolutely. Get the Knights of Knee going. Get those knee emojis up there, everybody. It also helps with the engagement of the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you all so much for being here today. Love that you're here. Thank you again for the thumbs ups today. Appreciate that. Now 128 and counting. And I hope you're going to have a great day today. A couple of emojis just to kind of mix it up. There we go. Dean's here. JR is here. Thank you guys for being part of the show today. It's great to have you here. All righty, there it is. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. We're off just a little bit, but not too much. GameStop, $19.21 a share, up 79 cents. And AI right now under pressure at $30.65, down 67 cents right now, $30.54. I think there's shenanigans going on with AI, which could mean a snap rally the other way. I would love it if AI came out tomorrow night with earnings that blew the doors off the stock. Oh, that would be beautiful. The stock could be up $10 first thing Thursday morning. That'd be just fine with me. Well, we'll see. We'll figure it out. I like the long-term upside for AI, no question about it. Larry Titus, Splair, cat emojis, Karen, neat. Thank you all, PW. Eat it, Uncle Bruce, roasted, not boiled. Gotcha. Splair, neat. Thank you all for your kind words. All right, folks, I'm going to cut the show off right here. I'm going to rest my voice now. Got the cough coming on here. Want to avoid that. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. Looks like it'll be day after tomorrow. I'll be on again. Is that right? Maybe not. Friday. Most likely Friday I'll be on again. This is Tuesday. I keep forgetting it's not Monday. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow is Miniature Museum Day. Thursday is Travel Day. Friday, Copenhagen. So it looks like you'll see me from Copenhagen in Deutschland is my next stop. Copenhagen, Denmark, pardon me, my next stop. And thank you all for reaching out to us and letting us know that you're thinking of us. We love getting those private emails. Let me know as soon as you can whether or not you're coming, or whether you're coming to Jersey or coming to see us October 21. Love to have you. Thank you all so very, very, very much for your kind support. Brian, mini museum, you'll fit right in there being 4'8" tall. I'm a big guy in there. I'm a big guy. Have a great day, says Matthew. Touch grass. First lady has COVID. Y'all be safe. That's right. Be safe. That's right. Okay, guys. Dude, everyone have a great day. Enjoy your vacation. Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen. Make sure to let us know how the Canadian food is in Germany. Bye, says Auntie Jen to all of you. Take care, Beach Boy. Neat. Take care, Beach Boy. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Thank you, dude. Zed, Uncle B. Thank you, everybody. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in a couple of days. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.